And I remember telling my mom this. And I said, Mom, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's cool. I got drafted. She's like, well, you're not excited? I was like, not really. She was like, why? I said, well, I'll be excited when it comes the first game of the season and I'm the starting tailback. Then I'll be excited. And she thought I was being ungrateful. I'm like, no, I said 6th-round pick. They just gonna use me as camp bait. I'm just going to camp for them to beat me up.
To get hit.
To get hit, that's it. They're not drafting me in the 6th round thinking that I'm going to be a part of the team. And that was my mentality when I got drafted. And I'm not quite getting the approval of my running backs coach, Bobby Turner. And he is constantly on me.
When you guys go for a preseason game in Japan against the 49ers, you're having big doubts.
Yeah. After practice, I feel like this. They're going to cut me anyway. They're going to cut me. I'm not making this team. There's no need for me to stick around to go through this stuff, this punishment again. So I want to leave. I go to the hotel. I call down to the front desk, and I asked I remember this is before like Travelocity or Expedia or anything like that.
Right.
The communication wasn't quite connecting.
Right.
It wasn't quite connecting. So I just, after it was very complicated getting out of there, I just said, okay, all right, I'll just deal with this. When we go back, then I'll quit. First quarter comes, second quarter comes, no one's, it doesn't look like I'm gonna play. But the veterans are out the game now. Well, they're on the sideline and everyone's eating. They're eating hot dogs and nachos and, the vets are having a good time over there. And I'm starving. I don't eat before games. I decided to join the veterans, man. So I'm throwing out the hot dogs and the Doritos, whatever we're eating over there. And then the coach comes over and says, hey, Davis, you're in on kickoff coverage.
So he's got a belly full of hot dogs, maybe some Doritos. He wanted to quit. He's on kickoff coverage, and this happens.
It's impressive. A reporter asked him if he knew everybody's name on the team, and he said no. And if I don't know them, they won't be here.
He impressed Drakeford, I'll tell you that.
Boy, oh boy.
What they didn't show was I went back to the bench and threw up. They didn't show that part, though.
Yeah. But what was interesting, Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann were doing the game, and they said, we asked Mike Shanahan about some of these young guys, and do you know their names? And he said, I don't know a lot of their names, but they're going to have to impress me to make the team. Then basically I'll know their names, and they'll come with us to start the season. And he said after the fact, you made that play, and that basically made the Denver Broncos team for you.
Yeah. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be ready. And I wasn't prepared, to be honest with you, but the opportunity presented itself. And I remember thinking when they called me in, I was like, I've got to make a play. I've got to make a play. And even though I didn't want to be in there, I did see it as a chance to make an impact. Every game from that point on, I'm on every single special teams. I'm actually number one on everything. I'm the kickoff returner. I'm running out on kicks. I'm the punt protector. I run out on punts. I'm on everything. And then after that, they gave me some runs. They put me in as a running back and gave me a few carries. And
did you do all right?
I did well.
You know, that year you became the lowest pick to rush for 1,000 yards. You know that?
I didn't know that.
The lowest pick. 196th pick in the NFL draft, running backs going off the board. And there's Terrell Davis, who makes the team because of a special teams kick cover play. Yeah. You rush for 1,000 yards your rookie year, which was a statement by you. I mean, that had to feel like, my God, I mean, considering your career at that point, your biggest highlights were in Pop Warner before that.
Yeah. And I just reminded myself of that day when I was sitting in the stands in Georgia. I just looked back and just reminded myself that I could either be sitting up in the stands watching someone play, or that could be me on the field playing.
In your second season, you end up having another phenomenal year, 1,500 yards, and you end up in the playoffs down in Miami against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We were favorite. We were in 1996. We had won 13-3. We had 13 games, and we had essentially clinched the first round bye at like the early part of December. And we had to throttle back because we didn't want to continue to play hard and get people hurt. So we were just out there playing, which hurt us a little bit.
That's hard to do, right?
It's hard to do.
Take your foot off the gas and try to pace yourself to peak when it counts the most.
Yeah. We figured we can just flip a switch when we play Jacksonville. We played them in our it was a divisional round, I believe. And they came to Mile High Stadium and they beat us.
Yeah, that was a game where you were in tears.
Yes.
After that game.
Yeah.
Had you ever reacted to a loss like that in your life?
Never. Never, because I knew then we had a special team, and I just couldn't believe it. Like,
It was shocking.
It was shocking. You see them celebrating on our field, and you look around like, what just happened? But I also think that loss sort of propelled us. I think that loss was necessary for us to feel that pain, to feel how it felt to be embarrassed and to be disappointed like that. And we carried that from that point on.
How important is a championship now to you personally to get it done, to have a ring, to put your name on that wall, so to speak?
That was it. That was the only motivating factor. That was it. I didn't think about stats. I didn't think about Pro Bowls. I didn't think about new contracts. The only thing that I really, and I'm not just saying this, I think it's not just lip service. I really felt that was the only thing that I wanted.
We have this quote on the wall. You can be the best person in the league, but if you don't win championships, something's missing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that became you.
If you think about football, we've all watched the Super Bowls, and you see the teams hoisting that thing.